Yeah.
All right. At this time, I'd like to call the Garden Grove Housing Authority meeting to order with the secretary. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Beckles? Present. Commissioner Broadwater?
Present.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Wynn?
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Here.
Vice Chair Dalton? Chair Beard?
Here. Okay. First time on the agenda is oral communications for a housing authority. Seeing none, we'll move to the consent items. Anyone care to pull an item?
I'll move the whole list.
Is a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote.
Motion received, 6 yes votes.
Okay, there are no public hearings tonight. Items for considerations? None. Matters from chair, commissioners, or director? Seeing none, we'll move to adjournment. We're adjourned.
We won't see you till January. Have a nice holiday. Yeah, we won't see you till January. Carol, we're giving you December off, if that's okay. Okay, yeah. Have a nice holiday.
Yes.
Well, let's see, now we're...
In case everyone is wondering what we're waiting for, today we had an honorary event to big farewell to our Mayor Bill Dalton for his last meeting and for his 40-year service in the city. And so he has a lot of guests he's saying goodbye to, and that's what we're waiting for, is the mayor to come back into the seat.
Yes.
Okay. This time I'll call the Garden Grove City Council meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Councilmember Beard.
Here.
Councilmember Broadwater.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nguyen.
Here.
Mayor Dalton.
Here. Okay, we're at the presentation stage, or
No, we'll do
we're starting from the
pledge,
beginning?
Yeah,
Okay.
and invocation.
Okay, I'm going to do the pledge, and the invocation is going to be by Kingsley Okereke.
Okay. Please prepare yourself according to your faith. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this Garden Grove City Council meeting. Guide us, give us pure hearts, the strength, and commitment to make the best decisions for our Garden Grove community. Lord, let your will be clear and let your will be done. Amen.
Amen. Please place your hand over your heart and join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're ready for presentation.
Yes, we are, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to invite the California National Guard to come forward to make their presentations this evening.
Successor agency.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Tatiana Alvarez, and I'm with the Department of Defense Agency Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve. I'm also here with one of our volunteers, Tanya Pham. I'm going to go ahead and give this mic over to Officer Damien so he can talk a little bit about the Patriot Award that he has already presented to the chief, and then that's what designated what brought everything else together tonight. Here we go.
Mayor, Councilman, thank you for your time. Essentially, what I wanted to bring to the attention was I represent several reservists within the police department. In 2009 and 10, there were 6 of us who were actually called at one time to active duty service, as I'm sure several of you already know, thus reducing our strength there at the police department and patrol by almost 10%. During that time, I know in speaking with my fellow reservists, we had all known that we were thought of back here at the department, the police department, and in the city through the outpouring of care packages that we received, emails, messages, any letters, letting everyone know here that we were missed and that we had a place when we came back. As a show of thanks, what I had done through the ESGR is I'd submitted the Garden Grove Police Department with Chief Rainey as our spokesman for representation for the Patriot Award, and eventually ended up putting an application in for the Freedom Award. I'd already received the Patriot Award and presented this to Chief Rainey earlier this year, and tonight we have representatives from the ESGR here to present the city and the Garden Grove Police Department sworn and civilian personnel with an award.
Thank you. What I'd like to start off with is to let you know that Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve is nearly an all-volunteer organization. I am one of 7 full-time staff out of the state of California. ESGR offices are across the United States, Guam, and its other states and territories. One thing that I think, as he was sharing, employers are affected when the service members have to go away and deploy. However, when we do all of our part to support them, whether it's family, employers, members of the community, what we have is somebody who comes back who's out there safer because he's not worried about what's going on here, and we have our community safer as well. So with that in mind, I wanted to share that the award that he was sharing me about, the Patriot Award, he wanted to present was a lot of had to do with what was above the USERRA law, the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. And with care packages and extended emails that were sent to him, those mean a lot to the service members out there in the field. They realize they've got somebody to come home to, and they've got more they're going to do when they're away. So in the meanwhile, I was reviewing everything that he was sharing with me, and I also discovered that in 2012, there's a nomination that I'll talk about a little bit later. So tonight, I'm going to present the Seven Seals Award. He was sharing with me about all the sworn and civilian personnel of the Garden Grove Police Department. There wasn't a single person that stood out. They all combined together to do care packages, to make sure that they talked to all the service members that were gone together. And so tonight, what we're going to present is the Seven Seals Award to the sworn and civilian Garden Grove Police Department for their meritorious leadership and initiative in support of the men and women who serve America, the National Guard and Reserve. And this is signed by our national chairman, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve.
On behalf of the men and women of the Garden Grove Police Department, as it relates to the Seven Seals Award, it's really my honor to accept it on their behalf. But it really is the workers, the employees, the officers, the dispatchers, the records clerks, the community service officers, everybody that provides the law enforcement services that actually were honored to carry the load that the vacant positions caused maybe an increased workload. But that's minor compared to the sacrifice that our reservists were making at the time in defense of our country. And I know that we've had 7 officers actually called to active duty, and as Officer Dabian commented on, 6 at one time, which was a burden. But it's a burden that we gladly share as it relates to the workload, and we're proud to do it. So thank you very much on behalf of the members of the department. Thank you, Ed.
And that's not all. We also would like, can they have Mayor come up forward, please? Sir? Tonight I'm going to want to present on behalf of our state chairman and the national committee. Our headquarters are out of Arlington, Virginia. We know that the cities pay that payroll to our officers out in the field in the communities. And so tonight I want to recognize the city of Garden Grove for their above and beyond support to the guardsmen and reservists who served out of their personnel. It says here that the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve presents the Above and Beyond Award to the City of Garden Grove, presented on behalf of the men and women of the National Guard and Reserve Forces for outstanding service and continuing support for the national defense. It's signed by our national chairman and also executive director, Mr. Ronald Young. And lastly, I want to present to the mayor, during his term of office, our service member, Officer Damien, had submitted a nomination for the Freedom Award. The Freedom Award is the very top, very competitive award. Every year, employers can, service members submit their nomination, and employers, we verify all their information. And so what we have here is a certificate from the honors of the 2012 Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award nominee for the City of Garden Grove Police Department in recognition of exemplary support of the Guard and Reserve employees. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
If I could just add, with the totality of all these awards, I think that it's reflective of the team effort, not only provided by the leadership of the mayor and the city council, but also city staff. When 9/11 happened and reservists were starting to be activated for the next several years, I can remember specifically our Human Resources Director, John Clark, came up with the idea from a supplemental income standpoint. Because we do have, like I said, we had 7 officers that were activated, and there is a significant difference between what a police officer makes or a police sergeant and perhaps what an enlisted man makes in the military service. That could have a very significant impact, and we've seen it, I think, nationwide, onto the wives and children of the heroes that are currently serving in the War on Terror. And so I remember Mr. Clark got approval from Mr. Fertel, the city manager, who himself had a son serving in Afghanistan during this conflict. and brought forth to this council, and with the support of the mayor and city council, adopted the supplemental income ordinance to make sure that the employees were made whole, that they were not suffering a financial burden. But thank you to John Clark and your staff, Susan Holstein, Marcia Becker were very instrumental in the implementation of it, along with Laura Stover, Janie Lee, and Marty Carroll. So thank you very much. And thank you, Councilman.
Mr. Mayor, the next item is a proclamation designating Garden Grove as a Purple Heart City.
Okay, Denny Watkins, please come forward. Denny and I met not too long ago at a veterans event hosted at the Elks Lodge of Garden Grove, and he filled me in on a lot of things that I wasn't aware of about the importance of recognizing so many people that somehow slip through the cracks. And one way to remedy that is to make the city a Purple Heart city, which is actually paying tribute to all those that earned a Purple Heart. And I'm going to present this to you, Danny, and thank you for bringing it to my attention, and thank you for bringing it to all of our attention. It's something, again, that sometimes things slip through, but I'm sure that other cities, once they see that Garden Grove is a Purple Heart city, they'll be contacting you, I'm sure, so they can also be considered a Purple Heart city. Shake their hands, I'll give you this, and then we'll take a picture. Then you're certainly welcome to say a few words after that. Get a picture, and then...
One, 2, and 3. One more. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3.
I would just like to thank the city for this. California is the first Purple Heart state, and we of the Military Order of Purple Heart try to support those that have received a Purple Heart and those dependents of those that have received a Purple Heart. However, we extend our help to any veteran, and we're constantly working in that direction. And we appreciate the city being the first city in Orange County to become a Purple Heart city. Thank you very much.
Finish oral communication. We have to do oral before we...
Okay, at this time, we'll go ahead and do oral communications for the council and the sanitary district.
And agency.
And,
Agency.
yes, and the agency. And one scene if you're on top of things, and you didn't disappoint me. Okay. Ted Griswold.
Thank you very much. This may be, you may be allowing testimony and discussion on 10C later today on the agenda, but you opened and closed the public hearing on this, so it was unclear whether you were going to allow discussion at that time. I can bring my remarks at that point in time if that would be better, but now it's okay too. Okay. I represent Ted Griswold, 525 B Street, San Diego, California. I represent the Sunbelt Company, which owns the property, which is part of the PUD that you're considering a secondary read on Ordinance 2824. We had previously submitted comments on that project, yet in review of the minutes last year, and we had our last meeting on the 13th, and we had someone present at that meeting. Our comments weren't specifically discussed, and they are allowed for in some of the ordinance in Section 5 on a modification in that ordinance. However, we had submitted our objections to the city attorney on that issue and had hoped to be taken out of the PUD. The circumstance of the situation is The PUD, as you know, provides for a significant hotel and restaurant complex in a unified development. The Sunbelt property is a property to the north side of the entire the south side of the development, and was asked not to be as part of the PUD. We understand what our zoning is and what our ultimate development is. However, we had never provided our consent to be part of the PUD and all the standards necessary. We've had subsequent conversations with the city attorney's office regarding this issue, but we haven't been able to come to a resolution. And we wanted to make sure that the city council, before you adopt the ordinance, are aware of the peculiar circumstance that we have here, where we had not asked to be as part of the PUD. We were included as part of the PUD. I believe in the concept that it was believed that the property would be purchased or ground leased long-term from my client, Sunbelt. That never has happened, and we were concerned about the effect that the PUD would have on our property values and our capability of using the property in our own ways that would be consistent with the underlying zone instead of having to be tied to somebody else's development. So I want to make sure that's the purpose of my comments today, is to make sure that you are aware of this issue, and if it's something that can be remedied through an adjustment to the ordinance, we would very much appreciate that.
Thank you. You have a comment now, or you want to wait?
It's oral, not yet.
Okay.
So cold.
I'll go with the next one. Neil Wynn Esquire.
David Wynn.
Okay. David Wynn.
Good evening, Mayor Dalton and ladies and gentlemen of the council. First of all, happy birthday to you, as well as happy birthday to Councilman Nguyen. And again, we thank you very much for your service, for your 14 years of services. And today we were so glad that so many good events happened today. We applaud for the Grand Grove City with the award that presented to the Grand Grove City Police Department, as well as your declaration of Grand Grove City as the Purple Heart City. We here as a representative from the Vietnamese American Federation of Southern California to share with you. I'm sure that Council Porter, Council Mayor Dalton, as well as Councilman Woman Dean Nguyen and Steve John and Chris Beer know by now that we came here as a refugee from Vietnam, and freedom is not free. And for the last 37 years, every day, we appreciate for the sacrifice of all those Americans, soldiers, as the Vietnamese veterans have sacrificed their life for our freedoms and for what we have being here today. And throughout the years of the services, all Councilman Postwaters, as well as Mayor Downton and Steve Jones Crispy become our friends, understand the crying and the fight for freedom and human rights and democracy for Vietnam. Maybe to the general public of the United States, the war maybe ended in 1975, but our fight for freedom and human rights and democracy is continue on, and that's why we applaud for the resolutions 8565 that you passed in 2004. And now we heard and we believe that it will be renewed, and then we inform and believe that it will be renewed not only in, for 5 years, but permanently until the people in Vietnam enjoy the freedom, human rights, democracy, and sovereignty of Vietnam. We applaud that, and although you may leave, and we appreciate for your service as a mayor of City Garden Grove, but we wish that you always be our friends, because we cannot fight alone. We have fought side by side. Our grandparents, our fathers, uncles have fought by side with each gentleman here. And I'm sure that we're going to fight side by side, until one day the people in Vietnam will enjoy the freedom, just like we saw that the people of Burma have, get away from the aggression and oppression of the Red China communists, and in search for the freedom of their people. And I think that the movement of the people around the world applaud for such of the enjoyment of freedom and liberty that they have enjoyed now. But it started, with our friendship and with our solidarity for those movements. Again, thank you very much for your services, and
Thank you.
we have some gifts to the mayor as well as our city council men and ladies. We have all of the.
Give it to the city clerk.
All right. This particular flag of yellow flag with 3 red stripes is dedicated to your mayor as our gift to your services for the city.
Okay.
May I approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Our wishes and our prayers go along with you on that. We agree with you. Okay, David Nguyen.
Good evening, Your Honor. I'm Professor Reverend Dr. David Wynne Alexander. I'm General Chief of Chaplain. First, we would like to honor the Mayor William Dalton for 14 year service on the Garden Road City of Council. Also, the happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And we also congratulations to the Mayor-elect Bruce Broadwater. And Happy New Year to the Mayor Pro Tem Dina Nguyen. And also the Council re-elect Steve John.
We don't get that. No.
On behalf of Vietnamese American Baptist Church,
Okay. We want to
Brookway Christian Community Center,
Our community.
Vietnamese American
Finish the rest of them.
SDA Center, and Vietnamese American Community Mission Center. We fully support of the human rights and against of communism and oppression in Vietnam. We support the resolution relating to the representative and official from the Socialist Republic of Vietnam traveling in or through the city of Garden Road. So we request all of you to support and approve to renew a limit time for the resolution relating to the representative and official from the Socialist Republic of Vietnam in or through the city of Garden Road. Again, on behalf of General Chief of Chaplain, Vietnamese American Community Baptist Church, Brookway Christian Community Center, Vietnamese American Community SDA Center and Vietnamese American Community Mission Center. We really appreciate for your support. So may God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and pull 6I up. It's a resolution relating to representative and officials from the Socialist Republic of Vietnam traveling in or through the city of Garden Grove. Okay, do I have a...
We have a couple more folks who want to speak on this item, but,
On the same thing?
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, we won't pull it up. Dr. Long Pham.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor and the honorable member of the council. My name is Long Pham, a resident at 9460 Daisy Avenue, Fountain Valley. Although I am not physically a resident of Garden Grove, for the past 4 years, I have the honor to represent the city on the Orange County Board of Education. So I feel like I'm one of your residents. Well, first of all, I would like to thank the mayor for your year of service to the city, and also council member Beer, your year of service here, your leadership, we truly appreciate it. And I would like to congratulate council member Broadwater to be a mayor-elect of the city, and council member Yon for being re-elected again. Well, for my year of travel around the world, I heard my countrymen, the Vietnamese people, when they mention about the city of Garden Grove, they mention with admiration. From those people who had chance to visit the city, as well as people who never have a chance to be here. But, they appreciate, they admire you because of a resolution that your city took the leadership many years ago and you passed that. Since then, there are many municipalities as well as state agency follow your lead and pass the same resolution. Since there are many government agencies did the same thing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. All of those agencies, they cannot be wrong. It has to be right. And tonight, I sincerely hope that you do the same thing in passing the resolution 6I. The resolution deserves your vote and support. Thank you very much.
I'm going to go ahead and get everybody. I'm going to finish the oral communication. Okay, Josh McIntosh. Josh McIntosh. Charles Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and staff. You look marvelous in those scarves. I'm proud of you. I want to say to Mayor Dalton, it has been my privilege as a resident of Garden Grove to have you as our leader for 20 years, and longer, for 40 years as both police officer, mayor, and council member. And we hope to see you around in a lot of events in the future, but we're going to miss you sitting up there.
Okay.
Councilman Jones, congratulations to you on your reelection, but also on being appointed to the OCTA Board of Directors. Now, in that regard, I am a member of the Special Needs and Transportation Committee of OCTA. We had our meeting this afternoon, and one of the areas that was brought up, you may have read about it in the Register today, was about the increase in bus rider fees. And regrettably, yes, it's going to cost people more money to to ride the bus. They have made several proposals to mitigate this in some ways by offering passes that can save you a little bit of money because they're good for 5 trips, and it costs you less than it would to pay for each of those 5 trips separately. But what people have to understand is that our transportation system, our buses, are paid for by tax money that comes from the federal government and from Sacramento and from property taxes and sales taxes. That's what generates the money that pays for our bus service. What the people put into the till when they get on a bus does not cover it by any means. And unfortunately, in order to continue to procure those funds from the sales tax, one of the requirements was that at least 20% of the cost of running the bus system must come from the money that people pay when they get on the bus. So if the rates were not raised and that 20% margin was not met by people riding the bus, we would lose the additional funding from the sales tax, in which case the cost of operating the system would be exceedingly higher, and bus rates would have to almost triple to make up the difference. So I'm sorry for the people that have to pay a little extra to ride the buses. I wish there were a better way of doing it, but it's the way that it has to be done because that's the way the tax law is written on the sales tax, that in order to get the money, the people that ride the buses have to pay that share of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Philip Merkley.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council. I just wanted to congratulate Mayor Dalton on his successful years of service here and say that as a resident of Garden Grove, having been here for the majority of my life, I am very happy to have had him as our mayor, and I feel very privileged to be here tonight. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for your service and years of dedication to our community.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Josh McIntosh.
Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. I second everybody's wishes of happy birthday, Chúc mừng sinh nhật, and also you got to learn that. You got the Vietnamese colors on now. Okay. And also, it's been wonderful having you. I appreciate all of your patience with me and for all the little conversations we've had out in the hallways together. Thank you very much. Now, I got a few things to mention. First of all, Saturday night, Garden Grove High School Argonauts will be playing at Angel Stadium because we're back in the playoffs for CIF again. Fight on, mighty Argos. Also, I'd like to say thanks to the Strawberry Festival Association for funding the new benches on our Main Street. They look great. Good job. Thank you, Strawberry Festival Organization, for funding those. On other news in Main Street, I'd like to thank Hope International and the Seven Seas Restaurant. They provided food for low-income families over the holiday weekend. Great move from them. And now I didn't want to be a big downer because it's been a fun night tonight. But I do want to mention, in a short time, our council will be selecting another person to fill Mr. Broadwater's seat up here. We could do this with the voice of the people, which would be reflecting on our actual votes from this election, in which case the seat should be going to Fat Bowie. Or we can go with the questionable pattern that we've done in the past of selecting a person that will vote along with the rest of the pack, creating pretty much one person on this panel up here. If we don't have diversity, we don't have somebody that thinks a little bit different than the pack, then we pretty much just got Mr. Broadwater here. I would hope that our council will choose to reflect the wishes of the people in that vote when you select your next council person. I'm going to make it short because I too feel have a cold coming on. Thank you for your opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'll close oral communications, and I'll go to consent items and pull 6I. You want to do them all? Okay. All right.
We're going to have a discussion on 6I, right?
No, we can have a discussion on it, yeah. We'll just make them, well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Move the consent calendar.
We're going to have discussion on
Go ahead.
6I.
Yeah, 6I. We'll pull that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do them all at once.
I'll move the balance.
Okay, we moved the balance. I'll second it. Let's vote.
Motion received, 5 yes.
Thank you. Okay, 6I. No, go ahead. You can,
Well, that hasn't happened yet.
not it, guys. It's going to happen. Just hang on. Okay, Dina.
Go ahead.
Go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just glad that we can do this again. Resolution relating to the representatives and officials from the Socialist Republic of Vietnam traveling in or through our city of Garden Grove. We really don't want them. So I will make the first motion. And
Okay, go ahead, Dina.
For most of you, you know why you're here, but this meeting will be videotaped and probably televised to a lot of other people who are not familiar with the resolution in front of the council today. So I'm going to tell a brief story why a country or a government half the distance around the world from Garden Grove, why the issues there is important in today's discussion and the item that we were going to pass. First of all, it's unimaginable for a group of people, men and women, who are intellectual to be running a government that promotes the selling of women and children. A government that promotes taking properties away from citizens without a fair hearing, due process, or just compensation. A government that would think of creating genocides to the native people, and a government who keeps the majority of the people uneducated and in poverty. That government is despicable and should not be promoted. That government wants to visit our city of Garden Grove in different capacities within the last few years. This resolution is important to us because it identifies the people and the city of Garden Grove as a non-tolerant community and government to communism. We do not tolerate communism. The way that they have conducted themselves, this group of people, is uncivilized. And if I were to face them face to face, I will be prejudicial. I will have bias. And because of that, I'm able to pass a resolution that does not support the visit to Garden Grove. And I happened to see a letter they sent to the city of Santa Ana stating that the city of Santa Ana is mistaken and have violated the law and the treaties of the foreign nations. Specifically, they named the Geneva treaties. And I laughed at the face of the letter because there is no law, no treaties in the world that would promote inhumanity and uncivilized nations. And based on that, I am supporting this resolution, and I want to thank the council for always being open to the Vietnamese Americans who came here from Vietnam to escape all the oppressions and to escape a government that doesn't have democracy. I want to really thank them, and I'm so thankful that I have this council to understand all the issues of the Vietnamese community. And I'm proud to have sat with the entire council, from Mr. Beard, Mr. Jones, Mr. Dalton, and Mr. Broadwater. I will support any of their service in the city at any time. And until I find someone more qualified than them, I can't say better, because my interest is the city's interest and the people's interest in the city. And that includes the Vietnamese community. I am a Vietnamese American. I think I know what's best for Vietnamese Americans. Thank you.
I just want to say a couple of things. I know we could go on all night, quite frankly, but Mr. Broadwater and I were both on the council when we passed this resolution the first time, and neither one of us, nor any of the people up here, have changed their mind. I think we all feel the same way. When you have a country that espouses communism and the human atrocities that are occurring over there, we don't want any of the people that are involved in that here at all. We don't want them in our country, let alone in our city of Garden Grove. So we will continue by this resolution to let them know what our feelings are and how despicable we believe they are. And one day we will have religious freedom and political freedom in Vietnam, I assure you. I won't be sitting up here as mayor, but...
So I was not sitting on this council when this resolution was originally passed back in 1994, so that makes it a special honor for me to be here when we make it permanent and to put it into place as a permanent resolution. But I do understand that this is not just about something that happened 35 plus years ago. This is about things that are still going on, injustices to civil rights and violations that are still happening in that country today, and it's something that we have to put our foot down and speak out about. So it's a tremendous honor to be part of making this a permanent resolution for the city.
Yeah. I, too, was not a part when this originated, this resolution, but I'm so proud now to be a part of it, to continue it on. I'm particularly pleased with the last comment in the resolution. That is, this resolution shall expire at the time when the U.S. State Department officially declares that Vietnam is a free and democratic nation. We as a nation we should never let down on that. As a nation, as individual cities, I'm so glad that the city of Santa Ana has joined in this effort and the surrounding cities. It's a movement that will be undertaken, and eventually, God willing, there will be a free Vietnam.
Okay. Well, we have a motion, and we probably have 4 seconds. Second. Everybody wants to second it, and rightfully so. Okay, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes.
Well, I'm going to recess this now. I'm going to recess this for the closed session. Okay, at this time, we're going to go to a closed session. There are two items. On the council, it's a conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 56.9A, SoCal Pacific Construction, Court v. City of Garden Grove Sanitary District, and there'll also be a closed session conference with legal counsel. Excuse me, I have 2 of these that they're the same.
Mr. Mayor, the case is the same for both agencies, both the City of Garden Grove and the Garden Grove Sanitary District.
So as listed on the agendas.
For the Sanitary District and for the City Council.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll recess and we'll go to the Founders Room for closed session.
Yeah. No, they want to do.
This is Kendall Nunley with the Garden Grove TV3 News Report. It's a tried and true tactic when it comes to curbing drunk drivers. The DUI checkpoint is part enforcement action, part public awareness campaign.
We just want people to know that we're trying our hardest to make the city of Garden Grove the safest it possibly can be. It's for everybody's good. We just want people to get from point A to point B safely.
Garden Grove police say this checkpoint at Magnolia and Lamson is one of 5 the department will be holding as we head into the holiday season. The idea is to stop drunk drivers who get pulled over, but also to persuade others to avoid drinking and driving in the first place. Police say the solution is planning. Arrange for a designated driver, and if all else fails, call a taxi or a sober friend.
It's always best we tell you to call a friend to come pick you up. This way, you'll get home safe, nobody else will get hurt, and you'll be able to go to work, be able to hang out with your friends the next day.
As drivers line up, officers check their licenses and registration. If officers feel like the driver might be impaired, they conduct field sobriety tests. Like with this.
Convene the successor agency and get that, and then I'll do the Sand District and then the council at the end.
Call the successor agency to order. Madam Chair, would you like to call roll?
Member Broadwater?
Here.
Member Dalton?
Here.
Member Wynn?
Here.
Vice Chair Beard?
Here.
Chair Jones?
Here. Okay, we've already done oral communications in conjunction with council, so we'll go to consent items.
Move them.
Second.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
No public hearings. We have items for consideration 4A.
Mr. Chairman, you have purchase of property at Harbor and Twin Tree relative to the Site C Hotel project, and Greg Blodgett is here to give a staff report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Fertel. Mr. Chair, members of the agency, the purpose of this report is to request the successor agency approve a purchase and sale agreement for real property located at 12291 Harbor and 12511 and 531 Twin Tree Lane. These properties are the final parcels needed for the Site C Hotel development site, with the exception of the Sunbelt piece. General terms and conditions of this agreement are as follows. Purchase price is for $2,250,000. Initial deposit of $25,000 within 5 days of opening escrow. Escrow is to close within 25 days, and a broker's commission of 1.5% to the seller's broker. At this time, it's recommended that subject to DOF approval, the successor agency approve the acquisition of the subject properties, authorize the successor agency and director to prepare and enter into a purchase and sale agreement, including dismissal of the owner's lawsuit and related documents for the acquisition of the subject properties, authorize city clerk to accept the grant deeds, authorize the finance director to draw a warrant in amount of $2,250,000 and funds necessary for closing costs and broker commission payments. Assuming that the Department of Finance approves the DDA as an enforceable obligation, occurs after the city acquisition of the properties, authorize the director to prepare and enter into an agreement and necessary related documents with the city for the transfer of these properties to the successor agency upon a determination by the DOF or appropriate court. The DDA is an enforceable obligation, and upon reimbursement to the city for the purchase price, including closing cost and broker commission payment. This concludes my report.
Move the issue.
Second.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Any matters?
No.
We will adjourn.
Okay, this time we'll call the Garden Grove Sanitary District meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Member Dalton?
Here.
Member Jones?
Here.
Member Wynn?
Here.
Vice President Beard?
Here.
President Dalton? Broadwater, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, I'll go ahead and take it for him. Okay, we had a closed session item. There was no reportable action taken, and we already handled oral communications. So we'll go to consent items.
Move the issues.
Second. Have a motion second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, any matters from board members? Okay, seeing none, the next regular meeting of the Garden Grove Sanitary District will be held on Tuesday, January 22nd, 2013, at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Now we'll go to the council meeting. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Councilmember Beard?
Here.
Councilmember Broadwater?
Here.
Councilmember Jones?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nguyen?
Here.
Mayor Dalton?
Here. We also had a closed session item with no action, reportable action taken. We go to items for, was 9 already covered with the other?
No, this is a separate action.
Okay, 9A.
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is a separate action related to the same property acquisition at Twin Tree and Harbor. We're asking the council to also approve this purchase agreement in the event that the successor agency does not receive approval from the Department of Finance, that the city can still go forward with the acquisition of this property. So it's recommended that you take the same actions you did as the successor agency.
Move the issue.
Second.
Have motion and second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
10A.
10A are second readings.
Second, I'm going to recuse myself on this one as I did before.
Okay.
A is ordinance number 2822 for second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove adopting development agreement number DA 18712 between the City of Garden Grove and Garden Grove 12662 Dale LLC.
Okay, I'll entertain a
Move
motion.
approval.
Second, have motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 4 yes votes. Sir, I put it in the office.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's my cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, it took me all over for it.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't know whose it was.
Can I pick it up now?
Yeah, they're in the office.
Excuse everybody, I hate to disturb.
Is Steve Jones available?
You go into a vortex out there. Once you leave, it's hard getting back.
Okay, item 10B.
Mr. Mayor, item 10B is ordinance 2823 for second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove approving Plan Unit Development Number PUD 11096, Revision 12, amending Section I, Sign and Graphic Standards of Plan Unit Development Number PUD 11096 to increase the height of permitted street signs from 5 feet to 8 feet, and to allow a 59-foot-high freeway-oriented electronic reader board sign for an auto dealership, subject to conditional use permit approval.
Any questions, comments, or I'll entertain a motion?
I'm amazed nobody's here.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
10C.
10C is ordinance number 2824 for second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove approving Plan Unit Development Number PUD 12812, establishing Plan Unit Development zoning regulations and development standards for property located at the northeast corner of Harbor Boulevard and Twin Tree Lane, west of Choicer Road at 12222, 12202, 12252, 12262, 12272, 12292, and 12302 Harbor Boulevard, 12511, 12531, 12551, and 12571 Twin Tree, and 1233, 12235, 12237, and 12239 Choicer Road, Garden Grove.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, matters. Guess we're down to matters, right? Mr. Broadwater.
Well, I think that, Bill, your career for a while is coming to an end. It's been pure pleasure working with you the last 14 years. And you had a lot more hair when you started here, and you were a couple inches taller. But we haven't beat up on you too much. So, anyway, we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
have a different perception than Bruce. I think when I first came in, you had white hair, and now you have kind of turning blonde. So you're getting younger, Bill. So you need to serve more. You need to come back to the city and serve more so you can get.
What is she
look
sucking
younger.
up for? I want to know.
Happy birthday, Bill. And I have a question for Matt. Are we still televising or not anymore?
Right now, till the very end.
When is the very end?
When
you
you're
mean
done,
today?
when we're done.
Oh, because I thought our program got cut, so we don't get televised anymore.
No,
Oh, no, we're going to continue to televise the council meetings. We're not doing the This Week in Garden Grove.
I see.
as well.
Okay.
So,
Great.
All the council meetings will continue to be televised.
Okay, that's great. I just want everyone to know I've been proud to serve on this council with the mayor and everyone currently on the council. They have been working very hard, as well as staff been working very hard to keep Garden Grove above water, or maybe just our neck up above water. It's very hard. And comparing to the other cities, I think we've done a wonderful job. And it's all thanks to staff, especially the staff who have worked on the redevelopment projects. Without them, the city would have been in a very bad situation with big deficits. And every time I think about the city finances, I think of how well our staff did, and especially to Kingsley O'Keefe. I think he's a good finance manager. He's always giving us updates and a heads up as to what's going on. Thank you, Kingsley. And I'm looking forward to January when we get a brief on what's going on with the next budget session. And from now until then, happy holidays, everyone. Please stay safe, and may God bless you and your family, City of Garden Grove, and the United States.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Happy birthday to Dina, and then also just a small confession that Mr. Broadwater is not the only one who has shared a display of affection for the mayor. The mayor and I have also kissed. Well, actually, we kissed the Stanley Cup together.
Oh, okay.
When the Ducks won the Stanley Cup. So
Yeah, please explain,
like-
please.
Yeah.
They were taking your DNA afterwards.
I want to wish Mayor Pro Tem Nguyen a happy birthday as well. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did, overate, and that's a holiday worth overeating about. And I want to say what a wonderful event we had prior to this, recognizing you as the mayor. I know for me personally, it's been a true privilege, a pleasure knowing you, working with you. I commend you for all your service as well. There's not enough superlatives to say what a great mayor you have been, great council member, and all your service to the city as a police officer. The city owes you a great deal. You've done so well. The pride you've shown, the integrity, everything. Again, it's really been an honor to serve with you on the council. Whatever the future holds, I hope we meet up again in community service or volunteer or whatever event. It would be, again, an honor and a privilege to work with you in the future. But it has been truly, on a personal level, a great thing for me to have worked with you and known you. And I like to think of you as my friend and always will be. And I thank you so much for the opportunity of the appointment of putting me on the council. It's been an honor serving with all of you. I hope to continue working with the city in the future in some form or some capacity, whatever service I can provide. And you've been a great example of public service, and I hope to live up to that same example and can contribute back, giving back. And I just want to thank you personally and publicly for all that you've done for the city and for me personally as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Actually, I want to take just a couple of minutes, and I'm not going to make it lengthy because there was an event earlier, and there were a lot of very nice things said, and I certainly appreciate it. In all honesty, I have to say that, working with everybody that's been on the council since I've been on, I mean, sometimes we did have disagreements about things, and sometimes, a little bit of yelling back and forth. But both of us believed in whatever our idea was. And sometimes, I'd change my mind a little bit, and sometimes somebody else would change their mind a little bit. But I think that's what makes it work. You can yell, you can scream, you can do all those kinds of things, but the bottom line is, what are you here for? You're supposed to be doing the best thing you can for the city and the residents of the city. And I think that all the people that I've worked with on the council, those here now and those before them since 1998, they had that in mind, and they wanted to do those kinds of things and make it a better city. And I think the results have shown. I think we've done it, and I think with the staff that we have, and I'm talking everybody. I mean, city yard people, sometimes, they work so hard, and sometimes the jobs, if I knew how to change oil on a car and put new brakes and all that, I'd probably do it. That's a dirty job, that's a nasty job, but there's people that do everything that keep the rest of us going. If the cars aren't in shape, the police and the fire departments don't work. City personnel can't get places. There's just so many people that do so much, and unfortunately sometimes we forget to say thank you. I'm going to make it a point. The next 2 weeks, I guess, when we have the next council meeting, I'll be here, but the new council will be sworn in. It won't be me, okay? But I think I want to make it a point between now and then when I'm at City Hall that every person that I see there, I want to shake their hand and thank them for what they've done, because they are truly the people that keep us going. Sometimes other people get the glory for different things, but there's always somebody in the trenches that makes it happen so you can get the glory. And I want to thank everybody's staff, Kathy, all you guys. You made me look good, and sometimes that might not always be easy, but you've always been there. If I had a question, if I had a problem, I can honestly tell you that there is no one that works at that city that ever didn't help when I asked for it or needed it. There was always somebody there and volunteering, and that's with fellow council members too. So it's going to be a little bit difficult. I don't know what's on Tuesday, the 2nd and 4th of the month. I'll see what's on television now, I guess. Maybe it'll be you guys. Maybe I'll be watching you. But I do want to thank everybody because you've made it a pleasure, even dealing with things that were tough to deal with, but you've made it a pleasure, and you always come up with workable solutions, and it's going to continue because it will, because the staff is here, because the council is here, they will make things work. And I'm just proud and honored that I was a part of it for a while. So, on that note, happy birthday, Dina, and happy birthday to me. And the next regular meeting of the council will be Tuesday, December 11th, 2012 at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Thank you.